10. Wave of accusations. Will Smith shocked fans, viewers, and Chris Rock when he walked onto the stage at the 2022 Academy Awards and slapped the comedian across the face, then casually just walked right back to his seat. The incident occurred while Rock was introducing the award for Best Documentary and joked about Jada Pinkett Smith's haircut. It was then that Smith silently got up on stage, walked over to Rock, and slapped him across the face on live television. The shocking moment has not only got him banned from the Oscars for 10 years, but has already cost Smith several projects, which have either been cancelled altogether or shelved in the fallout from the infamous slap. Apple is reportedly delaying the release of Smith's much-awaited film Emancipation to 2023 following the incident. Netflix also canned the sequel to Smith's 2017 action film Bright, although they claim the cancellation was unrelated to the slap. And there are many additional projects that Smith had lined up that have been totally smacked down, leading him to reportedly have an emergency meeting with his agent to develop a strategy combating the wave of cancellations. Number 9. Early damage control. In what seemed like his very first attempt at damage control, Will Smith gave a teary apology during his acceptance speech at the 2022 Oscars, not long after the infamous Chris Rock slap occurred. Quote, "I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. This is a beautiful moment and I'm not crying for winning an award." Smith took home Best Actor for his role in King Richard, but because of the crazy events that had just transpired on stage, it looked like the actor was already trying to get himself out of hot water by saying that art imitates life and that he looked like a crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams. But love will make you do crazy things. The first-time Oscar winner could barely get out his words as he held back tears, which would have otherwise been very touching if you forget the fact that he violently attacked Chris Rock and humiliated him in front of millions of people. The 53-year-old tried to downplay the incident by thanking the Academy and saying that he hopes to be invited back to the Oscars, but the only person he didn't apologize to was Chris Rock. Number 8. Willow's post. Several days after the attack, the whole Smith family was silent, and it looked like no one was willing to speak on the incident publicly, until Willow Smith shared some cryptic tweets almost a week after her father's resignation from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. After the notorious slap incident, fans were rightfully on the edge of their seats, waiting to see if his kids agreed with his actions. But Willow instead chose to get very philosophical and tweeted, quote, "The meaning of life is found in challenge, and life is a series of reactions." But just when it looked like she was on the fence, she also posted a quote on her Instagram story that said, "You know who's going through a lot right now? Literally everyone. Just be kind." While the post came only a few days after the Oscars slap, she did not really make a correlation to the incident, but instead just implied that her father was going through a lot. It was probably a good move considering the extreme backlash that Smith was receiving, which he still hasn't managed to come back from even now. Number 7. Strange beliefs. Jaden and Willow Smith have long been open about their bizarre opinions, but all of their insane comments have mostly been swept under the rug over the years. The siblings have also come out and labeled themselves as indigo children, who are believed to possess special, unusual, and supernatural traits that was popularized in the 70s. One of the most unforgettable interviews was done by T Magazine in 2014, who felt that their sibling dynamic would make them just the right people to talk about all those classic teenage topics such as quantum physics, prana energy, and the lucid, often elusive nature of temporal interpretation. Jaden said, quote, "Here's the deal, school is not authentic because it ends. It's not true, it's not real. Our learning will never end. And that kids who go to normal school are so teenagery and so angsty." He went on to say that you never learn anything in school. Think about how many car accidents happen every day. Quote, "Driver's ed? What's up with that? I still haven't been to driver's ed because everybody I know has been in an accident, and I can't see how driver's ed is really helping them out. I mean, we could break that down even more, but I don't really see the point." It's just funny because you know he was completely serious when he said it. Number 6. The public apology. Fortunately, Smith did end up issuing what seemed like a real public apology to Chris Rock, starting the Instagram post off by saying, "Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive." The Oscar winner wrote this after he had some time to reflect on the incident, a full day after the ceremony where he won Best Actor for playing Venus and Serena Williams' father. Quote, "My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable." He went on to say that jokes at his own expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for him to bear and he reacted emotionally. He also admitted that slapping his longtime friend and comedian was way out of line and simply wrong. Smith said that he was embarrassed about his actions and said sorry to the Academy, the Oscar producers, and everyone in attendance, everyone watching from home. Although the apology seemed genuine, Smith still seemed to justify his actions in the post, and the backlash against him only intensified. It clearly didn't work out because not long after, the Academy announced that the actor was banned from attending the award show for the next 10 years. Number 5. Secret third child. Not everyone knows that Will actually has a third child from his first marriage to Cherie Zampino. Trey Smith, who is now 29 years old, mostly lived with his mother following his parents' divorce in 1995, and so that's why he's still relatively unknown. But Trey has actually struggled quite a bit compared to his half-siblings. In a 2018 Instagram post, Trey said that he felt betrayed and abandoned for a long time after his parents' divorce, and even Will admitted that he and his eldest child struggled for years to develop a good father-son relationship because he basically made a whole new family and moved on without Trey. The truth is, his father's total absence from his day-to-day life was quite hard on him growing up, and Will has also said that he regrets how neglected Trey felt. In fact, they have only recently been back on good terms, and the actor said that he and his firstborn son have slowly started growing and healing, overcoming their past trauma, even posting on Instagram in 2018, quote, "It is a wild blessing to recover and restore a loving relationship with my beautiful son." Number 4. Summerfest dropouts. Summerfest lost a second headliner as the festival announced that Willow will no longer be performing at this year's big gig. The 21-year-old was set to take the Power stage on the 30th of June, but in a Facebook post, Summerfest announced that Willow will not be performing, and instead singers Gail and Nessa Barrett will replace her. What's really interesting is that she's actually the second headliner to drop out at this year's festival. Last week, Justin Bieber postponed his 2022 Summerfest show due to facial paralysis from Ramsay Hunt syndrome, and coincidentally, Jaden Smith was set to open for him that very same night. But with Bieber dropping out, so did Jaden. The performances at Summerfest would have been a great chance for the Smiths to come back from all the controversy that's rocked their family over the past few months. So it's a shame that they both dropped out given everything that's been going on. Number 3. Nepotism. The Smith family are undeniably a very tight-knit unit, collaborating on so many projects together throughout their careers. Some critics have accused the patriarch of nepotism, and they may have a point. It's pretty easy to see why. Just glancing through Jaden Smith's IMDb page, you can actually see that most of the movies he starred in were produced by one of his parents. The accusations were so intense that in Will's memoir, he opened up about casting The Pursuit of Happiness, saying that the studio actually didn't want to cast Jaden because it would seem like nepotism, and that would just ruin the credibility of the film from the get-go. But even though the studio was hesitant, the concerns didn't keep the Smiths from pushing for Jaden to get the part, and eventually they had their way. Don't get me wrong, the movie was great, but fans could not ignore the clear favoritism that was happening behind the scenes. Many people even called out his acting abilities in After Earth, which completely bombed at the box office, and Will even called it the most painful failure of his career. Number 2. Willow's single. The 21-year-old is certainly a star in her own right when it comes to her music, and a great host on the Red Table Talk with her mum and grandmother. After being so quiet on social media, it looks like Willow's music career is finally starting up again, and she is well and truly ready for her family to make their comeback. When she shared the preview of her latest single, It's My Fault, she was seen in tears while the intro of the song was played. Many fans were quick to comment on the post after she had taken an extended break from posting online. Overall, her fans made it clear that they were glad she's back and still making music. Her tunes will no doubt have been a positive distraction to the star during the last few months, which has seen her family make waves in the spotlight and plenty of negative headlines all round. And coming in at number 1, I Am Legend. It's been revealed that Smith is planning to star in a sequel to one of his most iconic movies, I Am Legend. Speaking to The Sun, an industry insider revealed that Smith has been in talks to reprise his role as the scientist Robert Neville, whom he starred in the 2007 original film, which was a complete box office hit, making almost $600 million. The script is still being written at the moment, and sources close to the project revealed that the concept is still to be signed off by Warner Brothers, but there has been no indication that Will has been kicked off. The insider added, quote, "The reality is that Will make a comeback at some point, and it will simply be down to which studio will be the one to take a chance on him," and added that Warner Brothers Studios have not ruled out Smith returning to the movie franchise at all. In fact, according to The Sun, the negative sentiments from the public about his career have certainly reduced in recent weeks, as the world has totally moved on. This might actually be the case, and if Smith ends up taking the project on, then this could well and truly mark a comeback for the Smith family. Number 10. Against discipline. Smith's unusual parenting style has raised eyebrows over the years, but he and his wife faced backlash in April 2013 when he revealed that they didn't believe in punishing their 2 younger children, Willow and Jaden. Will told Metro UK, quote, "We don't do punishment. The way that we deal with our kids is they are responsible for their lives. Our concept is, as young as possible, give them as much control over their lives as possible." And when talking about the concept of punishment, they believe it has too much of a negative quality. Basically, their whole parenting philosophy is that they don't believe in disciplining their kids. But criticism of their parenting style really exploded in 2014 when 13-year-old Willow was photographed in bed with a 20-year-old actor laying down right beside her. The whole thing even led to an investigation by Child Protective Services. In an interview with BBC Radio a couple of years later, after the initial drama, Will actually admitted that he and Jada may have gone a bit too far in their hands-off approach, and perhaps should have kept a tighter rein on Jaden and Willow. Regardless of whether you think the Smiths were wrong in their parenting approach or not, there's no denying that it led to 2 incredibly creative individuals. Number 9. Wanting multiple girlfriends. While the Smiths are no longer trying to hide how they feel about open relationships, many people have actually taken more offense to Will's misogynistic comments about women, specifically when he admitted in a 2021 GQ profile that his fantasy was to have, quote, "a harem of girlfriends." He proceeded to name Halle Berry and ballet dancer Misty Copeland as 2 women that he would invite to be in it. Then, under the direction of an intimacy coach that he had at the time, he researched them and even made plans to contact them. Quote, "The idea of traveling with 20 women that I loved and took care of and all that, it seemed like a really great idea." Obviously, he never acted on the impulse, eventually realizing that it wouldn't be fun at all in reality. He apparently came to the conclusion that it would be horrific and it would in fact make him miserable. Can't really argue with that one, but it might have been a good idea to keep that fantasy hidden. Number 8. The Entanglement. Musician August Esliner brought the Smiths' relationship into the spotlight in July of 2020 when he revealed that he was romantically involved with Jada, and Will knew about it the whole time. He had even given them his blessing. Although Jada initially denied the claims, she eventually confessed to being in an entanglement with August when she and her husband were separated. Quote, "We decided we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy," Smith said during an appearance on the Red Table Talk in July of 2020. They both went on the talk show together, and in a heartbreaking episode, Jada told Will how she came to be romantically involved with August, and how he made her feel special because of what they were lacking in their relationship at the time. Will took the whole thing like a champ, but the clip went viral online because he looked like he was on the verge of tears the whole time that Jada was talking. Looking back on that moment now, it almost hurts to watch. Number 7. Jaden's tweet. The 23-year-old was a lot more upfront when it came to rushing to his father's defense, tweeting, "And that's how we do it." Shortly after the slap, the rapper and actor chimed in after the eventful night for his parents at the 94th Academy Awards, being sure to show his support for Smith's actions, who was supposedly trying to defend his mother, Jada Pinkett Smith. Not only that, but in another tweet which Jaden posted shortly after the Oscars ended, he shared a photo of himself wearing sunglasses, looking very dazed in the backseat of a car, writing, quote, "My dad's speech made me cry." The photo got retweeted more than 42,000 times and was met with mostly negative responses from social media users, some alleging that the star was a hypocrite because earlier that month he tweeted, "Praying for peace in the world." Some users mocked his tweet by using his own past comments against him, saying that he should instead be talking about the political and economic state of the world right now. You gotta give them points for that. Number 6. Hating on Aunt Viv. One of the most controversial opinions that Will has had is that of Janet Hubert, who played Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When she left the sitcom due to creative differences in 1993, Will slammed his former co-star during a radio interview. "All I can say is straight up that Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv of Bel-Air show." He also said that she told him, quote, "I've been in the business for 10 years and this snotty-nosed punk comes along and gets a show." Those comments marked the start of what would eventually become a 30-year feud. Janet claimed that Will spread lies about her behavior on set because he knew the audience was mostly on her side. It wasn't until the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion special in 2020 that Will even acknowledged that he had made the set difficult for Janet during the 3rd season. It was a really sad moment because she admitted that the rumors Will started had cost her everything, including her career and her reputation, saying, quote, "Calling a black woman difficult in Hollywood is the kiss of death." Will only realized his mistake much too late and said that after having 3 kids, he's learned some things he did not know at the time, and he would do things differently with Janet had he gotten another chance. Number 5. Red Table Talk. Almost 2 months after Will struck the comedian in the face at the Academy Awards, Jada Pinkett Smith addressed the incident on her talk show, The Red Table Talk. At the beginning of the episode, Jada said into the camera, quote, "About Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these 2 intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile." She then went on to say, "With the state of the world today, we need them both, and we all need one another more than ever." She spoke about how her family will come back from the incident, explaining that they will continue to do what they have always done for the past 28 years, and that's to keep figuring out this thing called life together. She decided not to mention it further, but going on family talk shows to clear the air might have brought them even more bad publicity, as everyone remembers the famous episode where Jada admitted to cheating on Will and being caught in an entanglement with a much younger man. Will looked absolutely defeated and on the verge of tears the whole time, which spawned a million memes as we know it. It was a complete disaster that turned many fans against Jada. Number 4. How they met. The couple often paint their love story as one for the ages, but they definitely tried to gloss over the fact that their relationship began when Will was technically married to his first wife, Cherie. In fact, Jada let this information slip voluntarily in a 2018 interview with Access, admitting that when Will first reached out to her, he wasn't exactly fully free to do so. Quote, "He was just separated," and then went on to say that the divorce had not even happened yet. The couple has maintained that they weren't physically involved until the divorce was finalized, but many fans believe Will's heart had certainly strayed well before he made any move to end things with Cherie. During a sit-down interview on Red Table Talk, Will actually said that at a certain point in his first marriage, quote, "I had a realization that I wasn't with the person I was supposed to be with," but maintained that he didn't want to get divorced. He kind of admitted that instead of being honest with his wife right away, he just lost feelings for her and kept it private. But in the end, his ex-wife was the bigger person and ended up asking for the divorce, which allowed him to publicly date Jada right after the papers were signed. Number 3. New memoir. This might be one of the only ways for the now disgraced actor to restore his reputation. Will Smith reportedly isn't going to hold back when it comes to telling his story in his new memoir. In his deeply personal and vulnerable book, simply called Will, the Academy Award nominated actor details his life both in and out of the spotlight, from his early rap career in Philadelphia to his troubled relationship with his violent father. With the help of author Mark Manson, who wrote the very popular book The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, Smith reflects on the pivotal highlights of his impressive career, such as meeting Nelson Mandela and being selected by Steven Spielberg to star in the insanely popular sci-fi film Men in Black. The memoir will also share his lowest moments as a celebrity, a father, a son, and a husband. The book is introduced with the quote, "My father gave me my name. He gave me his name. And he gave me my greatest advantage in life, my ability to weather adversity." The book is supposed to be a very heartwarming read that provides a glimpse of the actor's real-life insecurities and trauma. Number 2. Open marriages. Will and Jada have been shutting down rumors for literally decades, from claims that they're in an open relationship and speculation that they're swingers, to reports that Jada even cheated on Will with Mark Anthony. During an interview with GQ in 2021, Smith finally revealed that he and his wife haven't always been monogamous. Quote, "Jada never believed in conventional marriage," and went on to say that Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship. So she grew up in a way that was very different to how he grew up. He hinted that both parties had taken advantage of the trust and freedom in their relationship in their own way. Will admitted that for a large part of their relationship, monogamy was what they chose, but it's clear that somewhere down the line they decided to stray from that traditional dynamic. In fact, Will was rumored to be hooking up with Margot Robbie on the set of their film Focus in 2013, after photos were leaked of the pair joking around and getting very close in front of the camera in a photo booth. But Margot was quick to deny everything on Twitter. Quote, "There's absolutely no truth to the ridiculous matter. It's disappointing that goofing around on set could be taken so out of context." Well, people really do jump to conclusions. And coming in at number 1, ties to Scientology. While the couple have never confirmed their religious affiliation, the Smith family has long been rumored to be members of the controversial Church of Scientology. Smith told Men's Vogue in May 2011, quote, "I've studied Buddhism and Hinduism, and I've studied Scientology with Tom Cruise, and nobody's saying anything different." His comments obviously earned a great deal of backlash, especially when he claimed 98% of the principles are identical to the principles in the Bible. But then in October 2018, he declared that his family have never been Scientologists. To confuse matters even more, many of the Smiths' movies reportedly contain Scientology references and themes. In 2013, Vulture even called his sci-fi flick, After Earth, that he did with Jaden, a love letter to Scientology. Not to mention the fact that in 2007, Will and Jada donated over $122,000 to the church. The truth is, we may never know whether the family are members of the religious movement or not, but the fact that the famous family hasn't condemned Scientology is already a major problem for some fans, especially as more and more disturbing allegations are continuing to come out about the church in recent years.